Yesterday we went to Petra. We were in Petra and we went to like the Petra, and we got up in the morning and my hotel room, if you look out the patio, you can see like where this trail starts to Petra, and like there's all these people who basically prepare horses for you if you want to get on them. It's to the entrance of the like close, like there's like, I don't know what it's called.
The Seek?
The Seek. That's what it is. The horses take you to the Seek, and then from there you walk through to Petra. And so we got up in the morning and we went down, and we originally thought that we were just going to take some carriages, but then we just looked at the horses and we kind of all decided to get a horse instead. We were kind of disappointed because at least me and David really wanted to ride our own horses, like be able to, steer our own and, go at our own pace and such. And instead there was one of the people who worked there who would like guide the horse, and they would go at like such a slow pace. It was awful. But after we got off of that, we made our way through the Seek. And the carriages actually did go like all the way through, so they didn't stop at the Seek. They went like from the start point through the Seek to the actual, entrance of, the renowned Petra treasury. And when we went right at the end of the Seek, you could just like tell like all of the tourists were over there. There were like so many different people, and like in front of the tourists, between them and the site of the treasury, there were like people with camels just like sitting down and, like lazing about and such. And I ended up taking a picture with what I found out later to be the Bedouin police. And the Bedouin are basically this like nomadic group in the kind of like different places around the Middle East. And part of the Bedouin live exclusively in Petra, which is the one who was not handling the horses, but they were handling the donkeys that went up from the treasury to the monastery, and the camels. And so we decided to get donkeys because on the way to the monastery is basically like the most stairs you could ever even possibly imagine. And along it are like these little kind of like tents with like all this neat stuff that mostly the Bedouin women would try to sell. And there were little kids who were trying to sell us stuff. It's basically a bunch of people trying to sell us stuff. And what else happened? Oh yeah, so my donkey was led by Muhammad #1, because there were two Muhammads and they were brothers. And Muhammad #1 was a really cool guy. Like, I actually really liked him. He was pretty cool. He's like 16 or so, and he basically was telling me, he's like, yeah, we're the Bedouin, and like there's these other people who say that they're Bedouin but they're not, and they're the people who rent out the horses to go to the Seek. And he's like, and they're just mean to us, and they say that because we lead the donkeys and the camels that, we're poor and, stupid. He's like, and I don't like that, and I think that's mean. And he's just adorable. And I was just like, oh. And so like halfway, or when we finally got from the treasury to the stairs, to the start of the stairs, he actually ditched. And Muhammad #2 kind of was the only one left with us, because David didn't have anyone, I didn't have anyone, and basically my mom was the only one who needed like somebody to, like guide the horse, because she didn't want to be alone on a donkey. So we made our way up these stairs, and these stairs were so scary because, kind of all types of horses and mules and donkeys and such, for some strange reason, they like to walk. Like, here's the cliff, and they like to walk right on the edge of it. And it's literally the most terrifying thing when, you're on the stairs and you look down and there's like, 100 feet below you, just total drop off, and then there's like a tiny little path below us or whatever, because we're just kind of keep going like this. It was terrifying. And there were some parts where the ground was so slippery, I was like, there's no way a mule can do this, and then it did. So I'm glad for that. But finally we made it to the monastery, and me and my mom really had to go to the bathroom, and we found out that there were no bathrooms at all, and that had been a really long trek. And basically the closest bathroom to us was our hotel, like all the way back there. So we got some tips, and you know, we made it happen. That's all I can say. And yeah, and then when we went back, we decided to not, oh wait, hold on, let me rewind that for a second. So there were all these Bedouin around, and some of them looked like, there were like two types that I kind of noticed. There were like the ones wearing like bright colors, and then there were the ones wearing like super dark colors, like racing around on their horses, and then they had like this dark eyeliner, and one of them was fine. Don't put that in. And they let us, or the one guy led us up to this viewpoint, which you could see, like, you could like stand on this mountain and look down to the monastery, and it was really cool. And then on the other side of us from the monastery, and we're on the mountain, the Dead Sea was behind us, and that was really cool to look at, because you could, from certain points, you could look over the Dead Sea and see the Israel side, because we were in Jordan. And then we hung around in the monastery a little bit, and took a lot of pictures and tried to climb up. It was like a 7-foot like climb. It was just like a kind of like a wall, you know, and so that was really hard for us to get on. And we ended up like standing on top of a donkey and then like jumping from there. It was only like 3 feet more up. And I got a little boo-boo. It's really sad. And we took lots of pictures, and then made our way back down the stairs, you know, because we kind of had enough. And like the people were still trying to sell us stuff, and like when we got down the stairs finally, I decided to get on the camel, because I think my mom was already on a donkey again, and I kind of wanted to get on a camel instead, because I thought, like, when's another time you're gonna be able to ride a camel for this long? So I got on that, and it was really freaky, because I didn't really know how camels kind of like stood up and sat down, because like what they do is, like, if this is the camel back and like the head's over here, and what they do is, if they're like sitting, they'll put like their front feet all the way up, so they go like this, and then their back like that, like they'll stick their butt up, and then they'll even out. So it was like, I didn't even know how to sit on one of them and like not fall off, and I didn't, but I was really close to. And then when it sat down, it did the exact same thing, where it went like back first, or no, it went front first and then back, and that was really terrifying. But it was really shady, because the guy leading it like kept going really fast, and I wanted to be able to see my mom and David in the background. And like we rounded some corners, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna stop. And like I kept like trying to like stop the camel, and I did, but then the guy was like trying to like make the camel to keep going. And then I like asked him about it halfway through, because I was not feeling comfortable with it. And I was like, why are you like trying to go fast? And he's like, well, we have a lot of tourists today, and so we kind of want you guys, he was like truthful, he's like, well, we want you guys to like get on and off, because we need to like make money around here, like that's kind of what we do. And I was like, okay. So I kind of like waited until I saw David, and I was like motioning for him to like run and like at least like stand next to me, even though these camels were going so fast. I felt really bad, but I just didn't want to be like separated from anyone, because like there were like other Bedouins going around and like trying to flirt with me, and I was like, no. And so we finally got back, and we left Petra, and we basically went back to the hotel just to like hang out, because we were really tired. Oh, hold on. But before we went back to the hotel, we went, we were walking back the way that the horses would take us, but we didn't really want to spend any more money. And so we walked that whole amount, and like halfway through it, I saw this like place that kind of looked like the Petra Treasury, but it was like a lot more like dumbed down, I would say, you know, and it was like in the side of the mountain. And so me and David decided to like scope it out, and then by the time we got back, like my mom was like long gone because she was already like walking without us. And then we found her when we went back to the hotel, and then we made our way to the hotel, and we hung out, and we had one last martini, and then we all decided, per my request, to watch Prince of Egypt because David had never seen it, and he ended up like giving up halfway or so through, or maybe a third through, and then we went to bed. Yeah.